feud would be difficult, just because of how, unless Ronda gets extremely much more comfortable on the mic, and so does Oscar. But I don't know how awkward those moments might be, Matt, in the ring. They may need some advocates. This could be where Paul Heyman comes into play post WrestleMania for someone like Ronda. But yeah, hopefully, we know Charlotte is very good at a sort of. Charlotte, I think I will go this far. I think I put her and I put Sasha Banks as a heel, by the way, not as a face. The most comfortable women on the mic and in the ring. Alexa Bliss is not far off that either, by the way. But they're the most comfortable, I find. That, like, when I'm watching other people, even sometimes Bayley, especially on the main roster, there's an awkwardness there to them. Now, Matt, just a quick mention about Bayley and Sasha. At Raw, the fans seem like they totally, crapped over their moment on Raw a little bit, if I'm being honest with you, with the watch-ons. Very, very difficult for these two. This feud, again, it's one of those ones that should have been over with ages ago. They've left this hanging forever. But then at the same time, I get a lot of emails from people saying, they should give these two a moment on Raw. And they do give them a moment, and then that happens. So it's like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. They're the only good thing going into the women's battle royal as far as storyline goes. But it's, again, our fans just fed up with this and they want to see it already, get the turn done with, and let's just get on.
Well, we tread some dangerous ground here when, this match, we know how good they are, we know what they can pull off together. So this is a WrestleMania-worthy match, and I think to top this off, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't really remember the last time there was a singles women's match at Mania with nothing on the line other than just who better won. So I think that is breaking some new ground there itself. So I would have loved to have seen a single match in that kind of respect. But I think we're going to get what we always get. We've got some women left over here. What we're going to do with them? Just chuck them in the ring at the same time.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, isn't it? And what we're going to get there, but it does seem like that way for those two. Of course, another match that we're going to get at WrestleMania is the Cruiserweight title. I've got a feeling this will be bumped on the pre-show. Cedric Alexander and, of course, Ali in the finals of that. Just a quick mention about that. Has it improved for you, Matt? I can't say I've watched it week to week. I've seen bits and pieces, but as 205 doing a little better now with this, or is this just another sign that we need to get the belt on somebody and then see where it goes from there?
Well, it depends on what you're watching the wrestling for. If you're watching it just because you like watching wrestling and you enjoy the matches, then tune into 205 because they've changed their kind of attitude about that. The matches are longer, and I think they work a bit harder before the show to hash out just what's going to happen and make these spots more impactful. And I think 2 matches on that kind of show, which is only like an hour in length, is far enough. So I feel like you're getting more quality out of it. But if you're going to watch it for storylines, you're probably not going to get the best ones on there.
Yeah, I probably agree with that. Of course, Cesaro and Sheamus, the Bar, they're going to go up against Braun, and we're expecting maybe Elijah in that one, I think, for that one. I guess good that the tag team title, well, at least one of them will be there. Probably expecting maybe the other one, I'm not sure, but I'm sure one of them will get bumped off if that's the case. And of course, then we go to the other battle royal, the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial match that's become a custom every year now. Not sure it's always been a great thing to win for the winners over the past few years, and Baron Corbin and other Cesaro and guys like that. Not always stepped up to where it needs to be, has it, Matt? But is that just a bit of a filler now, that one, Matt? Not really the importance there anymore for that one?
I don't know. It kind of, when you look at someone like Baron Corbin, it did do a little bit of good for him. It did kind of make people notice him. But I feel like when it came to, we said this before, when it came to Mojo, they got it almost right. They just ran with the wrong guy. If it was Jinder, it would have made perfect sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. And of course, speaking of Andre the Giant, that fantastic documentary will be coming out on HBO. I think it's comes out straight after WrestleMania, in fact. And I know there's a lot of hype behind that, so I'm sure WWE will use that name very well to get people interested in that than they already are. And of course, the only other match that is officially recognised at this point on the card is, of course, the build between Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey against Stephanie and Triple H. Matt, we haven't spoke about this on the podcast on this episode, but the feud, very awkward in my point of view, the way they've got to all this. The best thing I've seen of it so far was the video package that was shown on Raw, about 4.5 minutes just between Kurt Angle and Ronda, and I thought, blimey, they should have just stuck with this, really. They should have done things like this, made it a bit more serious, and not had her so exposed in the ring, doing the pointing thing like E.T. every damn time. And, you know, just let's like, you know, for fans that don't maybe know Ronda as well, let's find out what is her motivation? Where has she come from? Like, the disappointments from UFC, and this is why she's here. Like, that goes much further than her standing out there trying to just say thank you for the opportunity every damn time. Like, come on, get some decent lines going for her or something. Like, it's ridiculous. And of course, Kurt Angle's stupidity where he was like, you know what, I made it up and all this crap. I would have much rather have seen them just like Kurt Angle and her training, real legit stuff, and Triple H and Stephanie maybe just absolutely goading them on Raw would have probably been the way I would have gone with this feud. But it's been what it has. Very awkward. Of course, Rousey, I don't know if you saw the clip, Matt. She did come out at the end of Raw, but it wasn't shown on TV. And I think it was Dana Brooke that came out, and she absolutely suplexed the hell out of her to one side of the ring to the other. It looked good. But that was it. I think that was a little tester. What have you made of the feud, Matt? And is it up to your expectations of having someone like Ronda Rousey in WWE at the moment?
It really isn't. I kind of imagine when her and Triple H were meeting up for meals and chatting about how things are going to go. Her first match is probably like, yeah, you know, you work with me, it's going to be great. You know, we're going to run this thing. I think when they were excited about talking about it and how it panned out, I bet it sounded a lot better in their head than it's actually came across on TV. I just don't really feel like they needed it. It feels like the authority kind of angle has never really gone away. It's still there, still trying to push forwards with that. And, you know, if you've got someone you want to get over instantly, just throw them in that angle. Kind of what they did with Roman Reigns when things weren't working. Get Vince out, punch Vince. You know, people love that. You know, all of that.
Strong, sexy, powerful. Damn it.
It's always the go-to. I just would have loved to see something else. If anything, I would love. I'm assuming, you know, like 90%, you know, that Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle are going to win this.
Yeah.
But, you know, just for something different, I'd love to see, you know, Kurt Angle gets beaten by Triple H, and he's like, the following night on Raw, he's like, well, welcome to wrestling. You know, it's not all about you. You know, things go on. You know, you've got to choose your partners a bit more wisely.
Yeah, I mean, I think that. Yeah, when you look at the training clips that she's doing, you can see she's worked hard. You can see that she's put in a lot of effort. And she looks good. I mean, she looks snug. She looks like she's going to be a good performer. But it's a shame because how much are we going to see of that at WrestleMania, Matt, against Stephanie? You know, like, Stephanie's a great performer, by the way. You know, I take nothing away from her. But are we going to see the full display? Or is it... This is what I've got in my head, Matt, and it might be fantasy booking, but I just got this picture in my head, Matt, that Stephanie will get absolutely, you know, destroyed by Ronda, maybe the first part of the match. Then you're going to see Kurt Angle maybe taken out somewhere, and I've just got a feeling that Triple H wants this to work so bad, he'll be willing to sacrifice himself here and have Ronda pretty much take him apart. And maybe try and break his arm at the end of it in the lock. And I've just got that image at the end, you know, that she will make Triple H tap. That is my scenario for that ending. Bit of a giveaway there to our preview show, but that's where I'm standing at the moment. Because I just got a feeling Triple H wants this to work badly, and they're going to go to these lengths to put her over as much as they possibly can. Am I being a little bit too out of sync there, Matt, or do you think that is something possible that they may do that?
I would second that idea because it just makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, we've already seen that she put him through a table, so he's definitely of that mindset that he's willing to take one here to actually get her over. And, you know, why not? I mean, we know what kind of woman she is. She could definitely break my arm, you know, so it's not going to be too much of a stretch that she can break, you know, someone in their mid-40s here arm.
Lots of speculation, Matt, that if Brock does go, Heyman's still got a year contract, that Heyman could be her manager or an advocate or whatever. Is that likely, or is that just too perfect?
Well, you know, perfect, you say, yeah, because it is, isn't it? I mean, like you said, I would assume, you know, the big match, the big. But we had this with Roman and Brock, didn't we?
Yeah.
He's in the main this was, and we can see it now, perhaps with Asuka and Ronda Rousey. You know, we want to get there. We want to get that match to Mania, and like you said, if they're going to do that, you're going to need some in the ring mic skills and promos, and who better to, you know, get them over that, because we know it's not Asuka's fault. You know, she cut a big Japan a promo in Japanese, but we're not going to really understand that. So we need someone else to carry that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, where that goes on the card, I'm not too sure. But these intergender matches become even more popular from last year's Maurice and Miz versus Cena and Nikki, of course, becoming a regular thing, isn't it, at the moment? Now, of course, the sort of, you know, rumoured matches, Matt, obviously Owens and Sammy up against what we now believe will be Shane and Daniel Bryan. Just as a quick thing here, how do you think that Daniel Bryan competing again, if he goes on at WrestleMania, that will be one of the biggest moments at WrestleMania now?
Well, yeah, I would assume the biggest reaction from the crowd.
You reckon,
that's what I would gather. Even if Undertaker's going to be there, you know, we've seen him every year, and you know, this match, I don't really think he does it for me, but I feel like Daniel Bryan just being there and stepping foot in that ring, and it's almost like when we saw him at that WrestleMania and he won, you know, the title at WrestleMania, and it was that feel-good moment. It's another moment because it's a moment that we was never sure would ever happen again.
Yeah, absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see how that works, and in good those, you know, Shane O'Mac in another match, of course, traditionally. These, and of course we are expecting the Undertaker to be there, like I said, probably as the American Badass. That's the other match that's been booked. As far as that, off the top of your head, Matt, is there likely a tag team match from SmackDown, or do you think that's not going to happen, and they're not interested in that one?
We've got the tag team titles, haven't we? We've got the Usos, New Day, and the Bludgeon Brothers. Yeah. So we're going to get that. So if you're going to count that, but it's another triple threat scenario, isn't it? I mean, come on.
I got a feeling that will get bumped to the pre-show. I think that'll be the one. I can't see them having two lots of everything all the time, all the way through this, especially with two lots of battle royals. One of them's getting knocked off the card. I'll probably say it might even be the Andre one, just because they seem so pro-women at the moment. Like, they won't want to do that. But, you know, in a way, if you think about it, Jimbo was saying that he felt if the women's battle royal does take place on the main card, this may be one of the only pay-per-views that's got 4 separate type of featured women in, like, matches on a WrestleMania card. I'm not sure that to be truth, but he might be right. In terms of Ronda in a match, 2 title matches, and the women's battle royal. It would have been even better if we'd have had Sasha and Bayley, wouldn't it? I mean, that would have been fantastic for the women. But we'll have to look at that. But you might be right, Jimbo. You may be right. If it doesn't get bumped off the main card, it might be one of the only times that we've seen them. And yeah, so as we look at the card from where it is now, Matt, what do you make of the card? From me, you know, just looking at it, it doesn't seem the strongest I've seen, but then sometimes when I've seen strong cards, they've ended up being quite awful. Now, it certainly looks better than the year we saw Triple H against Roman and Shane against Undertaker. It looks better than that one, I'll say that much. But, you know, obviously with AJ and Nakamura, a massive match in the prospect. Could be the match of the night, in my opinion, I believe. Along with maybe a few others that, you know, unexpectedly come out. I do think Brock and Roman will be far better than what people think, and I'm hoping that Asuka and Charlotte gets a decent amount of time, because I think that could be something special as well, if they do that properly. It would be great if they did, but For you, Matt, I mean, I felt last year's WrestleMania was quite decent. I felt it was a much better pickup from the year before. We come out of that quite positive again. Just the little things like the Hardy Boys return and stuff like that. It was a good night. It was long. That's the only thing I would say.